Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Montez McCAMISH, and you are with the Meade County Local. Today, we're at the Meade County Public Library. We've got Jesse sitting in front of me. Some of you all might know him, but today is his day to speak to you all about a little bit of what he does. He is from Meade County, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Jesse, thank you so much for being on today.
Yeah, no problem.
You want to let everyone know what it is that you do and what brings you here today?
I have a small business. I make and sell handmade custom knives, real high quality work, but still reasonable price to, build high quality knives made for hunters, fishermen, home cooks, and anyone else that could need a knife for something. Right in my shop in Ekron.
So how long have you been doing the custom knives?
I made my first one about 6.5 years ago, and I've been selling for maybe 5 years.
I see. So when you first got into the knives, tell me a little bit about that. Like, I mean, what were you doing? What did the life look like before it all started?
I always hunted and fished and had a lot of interest in knives. Grew up hunting and fishing, loved guns, loved knives. Had a pretty big background in metalworking. I was a union sheet metal worker and really enjoyed metal work. So the two kind of went together naturally. My uncle fiddled in making knives, but I never was able to get one of his and decided to make my own. So I made the very first one out of an old Sawzall blade, and it just went crazy from there.
When you talk about hunting and fishing and you had knives before, what was your favorite brand of knife?
I always just liked older, like Case XX and buck knives, and never had a specific favorite brand, but just always loved older stuff. Old carbon steel knives were kind of what I was into.
So, for the ladies and gentlemen, maybe you might give them some context as a life, what you do in life in general. Do you just make live knives? What other things do you do? Extracurricular activities? Do you have a job?
Currently, I still work full-time down at Monument Chemical. Our schedule works well most of the time with having some sort of side business. So for right now, this is just a side business that hopefully one of these days will turn into a full-time business. If it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't be near where I am, because I have knives spread out all over the country and all over the world. So
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, please.
I think I'm up to around 40 states, give or take a couple. Haven't counted lately, and I also have knives in Germany, Ireland, Canada, as well as Puerto Rico.
Okay, so when you get to making these knives and you're making them custom made, right, or you're making them at all, is there a place that you go in your mind when you're making this knife? What are you seeing? What's that feel like?
Well, some of it comes from experience, me knowing a lot about hunting, fishing, always love to eat wild game and process my own deer and stuff. So a lot of my designs I kind of have tuned to how I would like them and what works for me. But when I was coming up with them, most of the time I didn't really draw anything. I just took a bar of steel and started drawing lines on it until it looked like what I wanted. And then just started grinding it till it felt right.
Guess you always got a Christmas present, don't you?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
A lot of people get knives for Christmas.
There you go. I actually, before we get to the end of this interview, I want to open this up for you. I want you to ask the audience a question. Anything that you might want to hear from Meade County, because of course they're going to see it. We're going to post this on the Meade County Local. Is there anything that you might want to ask the locals? Anything you want to ask these guys?
Well, I do way more business outside of Meade County than I do inside. Probably maybe 20-25% of my business is here local. So, I'm mainly just kind of wondering, what would people in the area like to see? What would be a good way to get the word out about what I do to them, and how to show them that what I make is superior enough, even though the prices are a little higher than going to Walmart or Target or something and buying your kitchen knives. What would you want to see, and what would, I wouldn't say convince you, but what would push you towards buying something for me over a big box store? I'm on Facebook at J.Thompson Custom Knives, Instagram as well. I'm on Facebook, my personal page. Feel free to message me on there. And also, if anyone would be interested, I've considered doing a sharpening service as well, but I haven't really pursued that a lot yet.
Let's talk about that a little bit, please.
There's a lot of sharpening services out there, and most of them I've seen will butcher your knives. They cut good for a little bit, but they are really hard on them, overheat them. I have considered, if there was enough interest, getting better equipment where I could sharpen at a higher quality for a lot faster. You could bring your knives to me, I could sharpen them, and drop them back off, schedule a pickup, or even ship them. So if that's something anybody would ever be interested in, I'd be happy to discuss that.